Good evening, I'm Professor Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Malaysia has recorded its highest number of recoveries in a single day. A total of 645 people have recovered from COVID-19 in Malaysia to date, with the country recording its highest number of recoveries in a single day, with 108 people being discharged in the last 24 hours. This puts the recovery rate at 22.2% of the total number of cases. Meanwhile, 142 new COVID-19 infections were reported, putting the active COVID-19 cases at 2,218.
Sehingga kini seramai 102 kes positif COVID-19 sedang dirawat di unit rawatan rapi. Ada peningkatan 8 kes kalau kita bandingkan dengan semalam, ya. Dan daripada jumlah 102 kes, 66 kes memerlukan bantuan pernafasan. Semalam hanya ada pertambahan 6 kes, iaitu semalam ialah 60 kes.
Health Director General Dr. Noresham Abdullah also revealed that 2 more people have died as of noon today. This brings the death toll to 45 people, bringing the fatality rate to 1.55% of the total number of cases. Selangor has the highest number of COVID-19 cases in the country, and the state government is going to great lengths to make life a little better. Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Shari today announced the second phase of the state-level stimulus plan, valued at 272 million ringgit. He also announced that he and state EXCO members will be taking a 50% pay cut, which will be channeled to the Selangor COVID-19 Special Aid Fund. All 56 state assembly persons will also take a 30% pay cut, which will be channeled to the same fund. The pay cuts do not end there. State government officials with the rank Jusa C and above and high-ranking people at state GLCs will also take a 30% pay cut. Some of the new highlights of the new 272 million ringgit stimulus package include screening tests in hotspots, free food assistance to doctors and nurses and staff at Selangor state hospitals during the MCO period, childcare incentives for frontliners and free food for the media and security personnel. And there is more.
Untuk memastikan kesihatan rakyat Selangor terjamin, kerajaan negeri telah bersetuju untuk membekalkan topeng muka dan sanitizer dan sarung tangan dengan peruntukan sebanyak 2 juta dan telah diagihkan melalui pejabat-pejabat daerah dan pihak berkuasa tempatan.
Being the state with the highest number of COVID-19 patients, there's also something for those who fall ill.
Kerajaan negeri juga amat prihatin dengan pesakit yang positif COVID-19. Untuk tujuan ini, sebanyak RM1,000 akan diberikan kepada mereka-mereka warga negeri Selangor yang terkena dan positif virus ini.
Meanwhile, the Selangor state government has decided to cancel Ramadan bazaars until the health ministry or the health department says otherwise. Many states have announced that the Ramadan bazaars will be cancelled. However, in the federal territories, a decision has yet to be made. On Tuesday, Federal Territories Minister Anwar Musa was reported as saying by Bernama that Ramadan bazaars will not be cancelled in the Federal Territories, but will be adjusted as they were needed by the people, especially those living in the big cities. However, he clarified today that the news reports are inaccurate because no decision has been made yet.
Semalam, waktu di Putrajaya, soalan bertubi-tubi ditanya berkali-kali oleh pihak yang hadir, terutama sekali pihak media, dan ada beberapa media yang telah membuat laporan out of context, sehingga ada pula pihak lain yang mengambil kesempatan untuk membuat telahan mereka sendiri, antaranya dengan menyatakan Menteri Wilayah Persekutuan telah membuat keputusan untuk nak meneruskan bazar Ramadan.
Anwar Musa said that was far from what he actually said. In fact, he clarified that no decision has been made yet, as he has given local authorities a few days to draw up recommendations before presenting it to him on Friday.
Tidak ada satu keputusan yang harus dibuat oleh penguasa tempatan, termasuklah Bandaraya ataupun Perbadanan Putrajaya, tanpa terlebih dahulu merujuk dan mengambil kira garis-garis panduan yang telah ditetapkan oleh otoriti yang lebih tahu dan lebih berwajib, iaitu Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia dan juga Majlis Keselamatan Negara.
Ramadan is expected to start on April 23rd, just over a week after the movement control order is supposed to end on April 14th. Health Director General Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said bazaars can be held during Ramadan if they follow the ministry's guidelines to ensure social distancing and good hygiene. Malacca, Negeri Sembilan and Terengganu have already cancelled Ramadan bazaars for this year. Just a few weeks ago, Pakatan Harapan was rather eager to challenge Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin through a vote of no confidence. Now Anwar Ibrahim says Muhyiddin won't have to worry about that. PKR President Anwar Ibrahim has reassured Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin that Pakatan Harapan will not use the Parliament session on May 18th to challenge the Perikatan Nasional's majority in Dewan Rakyat. In a live session on Facebook on Tuesday night, Anwar said Muhyiddin should table the government's Bantuan Prihatin Nasional COVID-19 stimulus package valued at 250 billion ringgit for debate.
Dan saya telah beri jaminan kepada Perdana Menteri, kita tidak akan gunakan sidang ini untuk menolak majoriti kerajaan, kalaupun dia bimbang soal majoriti ahli parlimen yang mendukung kerajaan Perikatan Nasional. Tidak, kita akan hanya bahaskan dan minta penjelasan dalam beberapa isu dari Perdana Menteri dan Menteri Kewangan dan menteri-menteri lain yang sebahagiannya tidur atau asyik pamer pakaian aneh-aneh, ya. Itu soal lain, tapi dia kita jawab di parlimen, dia wajib jawab.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad had previously indicated Harapan's plan to challenge the legitimacy of the Perikatan Nasional government in Parliament, although he later conceded that the plan has fallen through after some of his supporters had switched allegiance. In the current context, Anwar said the country cannot be governed by one or two know-it-alls, and the current situation where the overall federal budget income projection has been slashed must be debated in Parliament. He noted that among the matters to be further scrutinised include financial impacts of various reliefs under the COVID-19 aid in anticipation of a declining economy.
Beberapa hari yang lalu, setelah krisis ini, saya masih dengar Menteri Kewangan nampak bunyi yakin, kita pertumbuhan sekitar 3-4%. Itu tak menusabah. Sebelum krisis coronavirus ini pun, kita hanya catat 4.3% pertumbuhan. Jadi kita jangka mungkin turun kurang daripada 3%.
Anwar said this is in contrast with a prediction made by the World Bank, which said Malaysia would see negative growth this year.
Sekarang, hari ini, Bank Dunia menyebut unjuran bagi Malaysia itu kurang dari 0.5%, 0.1%. Maknanya tolak 0.1%. Maknanya kita sudah hadapi seolah-olah satu kemelesetan yang parah. Saudara, perlu dibincang di parlimen, bukan propaganda.
While most of us try to make it through another 2 weeks of the movement control order with some degree of freedom, the folks in Hulu Langat are coping with much more. With over 71 positive COVID-19 cases, 7 villages in Sungai Lueh, Hulu Langat have been placed under the enhanced movement control order. Today, Police and Health Ministry personnel will start knocking on doors to inspect all those who display COVID-19 symptoms. The process will be carried out in all of the affected 7 villages and will take about 3 days to complete. Those with symptoms will then have to undergo a health screening at the local clinic desa. The operation will involve 6 officers and 53 police personnel as well as other agencies. The villages have been placed under the enhanced MCO since March 30th after the Health Ministry confirmed 71 cases among the 274 residents of the Mahat Thafiz An-Nabawiyah at Batu 23 in Sungai Lueh. The enhanced MCO affects close to 4,000 people in 700 homes in 7 villages. They are Kampung Batu 21, Kampung Batu 22, Kampung Batu 23, Kampung Batu 24, Kampung Gemi, Kampung Orang Asli Paya Lebar and Kampung Orang Asli Sungai Gabai. Coming up next, the US has recorded its highest single-day death toll linked to COVID-19. Don't go anywhere. This next story is brought to you by Blue Air. While Malaysia recorded its highest number of recoveries in a single day, things are very different in the United States. The death toll in the United States shot up by more than 850 on Tuesday, by far the most for a single day. as the country raced to build hundreds of makeshift hospitals near major cities as the healthcare systems were pushed to capacity. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said the US should be prepared for 100,000 deaths as the result of COVID-19.
Dr. Fauci, should Americans be prepared for the likelihood that there will be 100,000 Americans who die from this virus?
The answer is yes. We need, as sobering a number as that is, we should be prepared for it. Is it going to be that much? I hope not, and I think the more we push on the mitigation, the less likelihood it would be that number. But as being realistic, we need to prepare ourselves that is a possibility, that's what we will see.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio pleaded for immediate reinforcements in the country's biggest city from the Trump administration. De Blasio, a Democrat who last year sought his party's presidential nomination, said he had asked the White House for an additional 1,000 nurses, 300 respiratory therapists and 150 doctors by Sunday. Nearly 4,000 people have already died from COVID-19, the illness caused by the coronavirus, in the United States, more than the 2,977 who died in the September 11 attacks. White House medical experts say 100,000 to 240,000 people could ultimately perish from the respiratory disease in the United States, despite unprecedented orders by the state and local governments largely confining Americans to their homes. The pandemic has taken toll on doctors, nurses and other healthcare workers who are overworked and lack the medical devices and protective gear needed. Worldwide, there are now more than 800,000 cases of the highly contagious illness caused by the virus and more than 40,000 deaths reported. With a population of about 1.3 billion people, India is finding it difficult to get everyone to comply with its lockdown order until mid-April.
India and Pakistan sealed off centres belonging to a Muslim missionary group on Tuesday and began investigating how many coronavirus cases were linked to its activities. The headquarters at a 100-year-old group in New Delhi were the latest to be sealed off after dozens of people tested positive and at least 7 died. As many as 1,500 Muslims from India and other countries had attended a congregation of Islamic preachers amid the nationwide lockdown, out of which several come out with coronavirus-like symptoms. In Pakistan, the Lahore Tablighi Centre was sealed off and dozens of other preaching centres across the country were placed in quarantine after 143 members tested positive and 3 died. India is in a state of national lockdown and has so far registered 32 deaths from 1,251 confirmed infections. Meanwhile, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan rules out complete shutdown of Pakistan as coronavirus cases rise to over 1,700. Prior to the health crisis, Muslims in India are already facing tense time due to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's controversial citizenship bill, which critics has described as anti-Muslim. India, with a population of more than 1.3 billion, is under lockdown until mid-April, but tens of thousands of out-of-work migrants are fleeing to the countryside, undermining the restrictions.
And that is all for me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Michael. Thank you for watching.